Namaste, friends, and welcome back to day 26 of our 30-day meditation transformation program. Today, I want to share with you a practice that is considered in many spiritual traditions as the ultimate spiritual practice. It's upon receiving this practice from one of my first teachers and regular practice of it that I had my first experience of Kundalini awakening. So it's this seemingly simple practice that really led to changing the course of my life. It's going to sound a bit strange to you because it's such a subtle and simple practice, but the potential behind this practice is infinite. There's so much power behind this simple practice. And the reason I say it's going to sound strange to you is because it's not a practice from Hatha Yoga. It's not a physical practice we're doing with the body. So it's how can it lead to an awakening of Kundalini? That was my experience with it. This practice, rather than coming from Hatha Yoga, the yoga of balancing the energies in the body, is coming from Jnana Yoga, or the yoga of knowledge, the yoga of inquiry. This practice is the practice of the primary question: who am I? Who am I? And I've hinted at it already in the last few days of this program because we're leading to that. We're leading to this inquiry. Who am I? And ask yourself just now, maybe there's already been some shifts in the answer that will come up. But when you ask yourself, who am I? Usually at the beginning, some things come to mind. I am Andrew. I am 33 years old. I live in this place. I own this thing. I've got a car. I've got a house. I've got a wife. I've got these sort of things. But upon deeper contemplation, one can realize none of these things are who I am. A name is just a name. Some people call me Raphael. Some people call me Refeel. My friends used to call me Drew or Andy. And none of these are who I am. So that is not me. 33 at the moment. Last year I was not 33. Next year I will not be 33. So this is definitely not who I am because age and time are transient. Possessions. Right now I don't have a car. I have a scooter. But we're selling the scooter next week. I have a house, but we're going to move soon. And this will not be my house. My wife is amazing. She might not always be my wife. She definitely wasn't always my wife. So these are not who I am. So it's regular contemplation of this question that starts to go deeper into the mind and starts to peel away what we think we are. And when we do that, we become who we are. It's not that we're going to find, okay, I am that. I am that, yes. But remember, I said, we don't want to find the answer in terms of words. I don't want to be like, I am this and this and this and this, nouns and pronouns and whatever, because I am beyond all of that. But the regular contemplation, who am I, starts to reveal to us not necessarily who we are, but who we are not. Because who we think we are is usually the limitation. So my teacher prescribed me this practice as I'm going to prescribe it to you now. Ask yourself, if it resonates with you, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. Maybe later down the path it will come back. But ask yourself, who am I? And instead of trying to find some answer to it, just see what comes. See what the feeling is in the body when you ask, who am I? After you get past the more materialistic things, we usually get towards more of our accomplishments. Okay, so I studied this in school. I've got this career. I've built my life up to be this. But we can also recognize quite simply that these are not who you are either, because I am not only a yoga teacher. I am not only a traveler. I am not only any of these things, a doctor, a husband, whatever these accomplishments. Once that is revealed and peeled away, then we usually go to more subtle things. I am my beliefs, my values, my personality, my likes and dislikes. And as I hinted to before, even these are transient. The state of mind, the way we perceive the world, the way we perceive ourselves is also in a constant flux. And when we're attached to that, I like this thing, maybe we don't always like that thing. Maybe we want to pursue something else. So this constant inquiry, it's not really a meditation. I'm going to talk about what we're going to do for the meditation for the next 5 days, but it's not necessarily a meditation. I'm not going to say sit there and just ask, who am I, who am I, who am I, who am I? It's monotonous. Do it a couple times per day. And when you ask, don't look for an answer. Just see what comes up. Okay, who am I? Now I share my experience with you because I said this led to my first real awakening. I was repeating this multiple times, 5-6 times per day just briefly, but regularly in the back of my mind asking. And when you do something regularly, you speak to the subconscious. You go beyond the ego, you go beyond all of these chosen thoughts, and you go deeper. So I kept saying, who am I? Who am I? And at one point, one day, I literally felt the ground fall out from beneath me. I felt like I was floating in space. I had no idea who I was, where I came from, what I could believe, who I could trust. Like, I didn't know if any of what I had perceived myself or the life around me of before was real. There was really this shattering of the ego, shattering of the personality. And it's like, I don't know. Am I Canadian? Am I part of this family that I come from? Am I, good in this? There was all these rules and ideas and beliefs that had been put on me that I had never been given the space to contemplate and ask, wait, is that mine? Is that part of me, or is it something someone else gave to me? And I went into a state of like completely feeling lost, destroyed, scared, kind of like on fight or flight. And this is one of the experiences of Kundalini awakening. It's a more unpleasant experience. They're not always pleasant. In fact, growth is rarely the most comfortable thing. But my God, from the rubble, from being deconstructed, I was able to reconstruct a new version of myself. It's not the first time something like that, it's not the only time, it was the first time, but it's not the only time something like that has happened to me on the spiritual path. And each time, it's like shedding away the stuff that you're not. Okay, yoga doesn't change you to be someone else. It only releases that which you are not. Every time we go into this process, every time we go into the practice, and we become more quiet and more still, what we do is we let go of the ties, the bonds, the chains of the ideas that either someone else have given to us or we have integrated that are not necessarily who we are. So the more we can go into that spaceless, timeless, quiet area, the more we can recognize our truth, that there is no I am. There are things that we're not. There are things that don't resonate with us, but we have so much infinite potential. So what are we going to do moving forward? We've got 5 days left, and every 5 days I've been introducing a new meditation technique. But because I really want to encourage you to integrate the practice and make it your own now, for the next 5 days, you're going to do whatever you have felt the most drawn to, okay? So if it was feeling the sensations of the breath from the nose down into the navel, just the path of the breath. If it was feeling the sensations of the breath only at the tip of the nose, the upper triangle. If it was observing the flow of prana from the Dvarashanta into the Hrid chakra, back and forth. If it was going into the space between the breath. If it was the mantra, or if it was a combination of any of these. I want you to choose the one that you felt the most drawn to. Or the one that scared you a little bit. Exactly this state was that state of Bhairava, where it's terrifying, stepping into the unknown. Stepping away from the little safe zone, the construction of the ego and the beliefs and values that have always been there, and opening. So if you have experienced just a little bit of that, a little bit of nervousness going into any of these techniques, I recommend you choose that one. But choose whichever for the next 5 days, or one per day at least. Choose whichever technique you want. But I encourage you to choose just one technique and stick with it through the whole meditation. Okay, for the whole 10 minutes, just stick with that one technique. The danger of having too many techniques in the back pocket is that you can sit and you can be like, watching the breath, watching the breath. It's not working. Watching the flow of energy, watching the flow of energy. Oh, it's not working. Oh, soham. And just like the monkey mind can have all of these ideas of futures and past, the monkey mind can latch onto this technique, that energy, that breath. Don't let that happen. Be aware if that your mind has that tendency. So pick, before we even go into it, pick which technique you're going to choose and stick with that. The who am I practice, take it with you if it resonates. And ask yourself, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, 3-4 times during the day, you can ask yourself and just start to get an idea of, maybe that is not really coming from me. Or maybe that is. There are things. It's not like, nothing is you. But it's understanding what truly comes from you. What do you really want? Why are you here? Why have you been gifted this life? And what do you want to create from it? This is what meditation can give you. And this is what I want to empower you with, is that you have the choice to choose the life that you deserve. It doesn't have to be your parents gave it to you. It doesn't have to be your friends, your society, your culture, your religion. You have the choice to choose the life that's right for you. So whenever you feel right, who am I? Beautiful. Let's get into the practice. So decide what posture you want to sit in. If you're following along with me, today will be our last day of Padmasana, the full lotus. So if that's the appropriate pose for you, we will start with the legs wide. Yesterday was left, today will be right. Bending in the right, locking the knee, and then lifting it, placing it on top of the left thigh. Bending fully the left knee, and then carefully placing it on top of the right thigh. Or choosing whichever posture is correct for you. Finding comfort in the pose. Now, before we go into it, decide right now which meditation you want to use. If you want to use the sensations of the breath, the upper triangle, the flow of prana, the space between the breath, the mantra. Decide now so that you don't allow your mind to go, maybe it's not working, I choose something else. Choose now. Have your ritual object ready for you. And let's get ready. Sitting nice and tall, pressing the seat down, reaching the crown of the head up, roll the shoulders back and down so the heart is open and relaxed. Close the eyes, go inside. Take a deep inhalation through the nose. Open the mouth inside out. Soften the body, soften the mind. Again, deep inhalation. Open the mouth, side out. Tiny vibrations, massaging the nervous system. One more time, as deep a breath as you can. Inhale. More, and let go. Sitting with the eyes closed, attention turned inside. Noticing where you are now before we begin. Taking note of the physical body, your state of energy, emotions, state of mind. Now, if you have an object, I encourage you to interact with it. We will now begin our meditation. Sitting with the eyes closed, attention turned inside. Bring all of your awareness to the flow of respiration, in and out through the nose. Continue observing the breath, allowing each breath to soften you deeper into the body. Each breath to relax you deeper into the mind. And then using whichever technique of observing the breath you've chosen for today. If at any point you notice the mind wandering, gently note to yourself, I'm thinking, I'm coming back to the breath. I am thinking. I'm coming back to the breath. Sitting with the eyes closed, attention turned inside. In this space, ask yourself the question, who am I? Who am I? Let that question echo throughout your consciousness for just a moment. Who am I? And then let it go. You can come back to it later. We will conclude today's practice with a moment of gratitude, giving thanks to yourself for taking the time and effort to focus on your health, peace of mind, awareness, and consciousness. Thanks to the teachers before us who have brought these teachings and this technology. And thank you to this beautiful life with all of its ups and downs and joys and sorrows and all the experience it brings to us. Helps us to learn and grow and dance. Thank you. Thank you. Take a deep inhalation into the heart. And as you exhale, gently coming back, so that I may thank you once again for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the practice. Again, if you want, you can continue asking, who am I? Who am I? And just let it go. See what comes and let it go. If you've been enjoying sharing your practice with me and you feel like you're getting a lot of value out of these teachings and you feel called that you want to give something back, I encourage you to check out our membership, where you will not only be supporting us, but you will receive additional content, exclusive classes, extended practices, some more of the secret and sacred practices from Tantra to help you take your practice further. It's a beautiful way to share and exchange, and it enables us to keep sharing these teachings with the world. Thank you so much, everyone, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Namaste.